All right then. So what's next for this team? And honestly, to me, it's pretty simple. Now, don't worry, Philly fans, because I don't think there's too much wrong with this team outside of Doc Rivers and simply just needing more reps together. And with James Harden more than likely accepting his player option, I'd say run it back one more year. Go out this offseason and sign some more quality role players, and try this core again next year, who hopefully will have a full season together, barring any sort of injuries. However, after that is a different story. See, after the 2023 season, the only players who will still be on this team are Embiid, Tobias Harris, Korkmaz, and Tyrese Maxey. And in the case of Tobias, Maxey, and Korkmaz, they're all going to be on contract years. So literally, the only long-term player that Philly has right now is Joel Embiid. Which is why I say, if it doesn't work out next year, then it's going to be time to end the process. Ironically, that would be the 2024 season, which would mark the 10-year anniversary of the beginning of this process. And I don't think it's too crazy to say that if you have a process that's been failing for 10 years, then yeah, it'd be time to part ways with Joel Embiid and start a rebuild. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, YouTube, what's going on, man? I know it's been a little bit. Please forgive me. Your boy's in college, and college was, doing his thing. But semester is over, so finally going to have some more free time. I definitely want to grind this summer. Got to hold myself accountable, make sure I'm getting these videos out. But that is not the topic for today. No script this video. I'm just going to go off the dome. Because once again, let me not start there. So, as most of you know, because it's easily the most popular video on my channel and probably the reason why most of you are here or subscribed to my channel, last year I made a video titled The Failure of the Process. And easily my most popular video on this channel. And easily the longest video I've ever created. It was about 30 minutes long. But I basically just detailed, if you haven't seen it, I basically detailed the entire timeline of the 76ers from when they drafted Joel Embiid up until last year where they lost against the Miami Heat. And as you just heard, at the end of that video, I stated that if the 76ers ended up losing this year after running it back, albeit a healthy year from both James Harden and Joel Embiid, and being able to make some more improvements to the roster, then I said it was time to end the process. And now here we are a whole year later, where you ended up getting a whole year, despite the fact that you did get a whole year, a relatively whole year from both Joel Embiid and James Harden. Not only that, Joel Embiid performed at an MVP level this year and ended up winning the award, which well-deserved. Shout out to him. You also made some good acquisitions this offseason. Everything was seeming to be panning out for you. Especially after the fact where you swept the Brooklyn Nets in the first round, got them out of there, and then you go into the second round against the Boston Celtics, who at worst they were on the same level as you in terms of talent. At worst, if you want to say the Celtics were better, cool, but at worst they were marginally better, and it was still a winnable series. But even with all that going in your favor, and even you guys ending up after game 4, or after game 5 with the 3-2 lead, going back home to Philly in order to close out the series after an amazing performance from James Harden in game 1 and game 4. You go and you steal game 5 from the Celtics on the road and go back home to Philly to possibly close out the series. Like, what more could you ask for? And everybody was saying, oh, man, this is the year. This is it, man. The Sixers are going to make it happen. And even despite all that going in your favor, you somehow lose game 6, even though Jason Tatum had one of the worst games of his playoff career in the first 3 quarters. You lose that game, and then you come back in game 7 and just have an all-time meltdown in the third quarter, allow the Celtics to just completely blow the game wide open, and just never looked back. Never looked back. And once again, once again, once again, the 76ers end a season. This is the sixth season since Joel Embiid has been healthy. The sixth time that the Sixers in the Joel Embiid era have failed to make the conference finals. Just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And like I said, I'm gonna just straight up say it. It's time to end the process. It's time. Joel Embiid will be 30 next year. James Harden will be 33, 34 next year. Whatever he is, but he's on the other side of 30. I'm not even going to talk about Doc Rivers because he is not going to be here next year. I don't even need to entertain that thought. Doc Rivers is out of there. He needs to no. He should have been gone yesterday. But yeah, you have both aging stars in Embiid and Harden. I believe Embiid has pretty much peaked as a player. I don't see him getting much better from here on out. James Harden obviously is not getting any younger as well. And I really don't know what type of offseason moves you can make in terms of trades or signings and free agency. There's really not a lot this team can do. And the main thing that I say that they do, end it. I mean, first off, let's just get to Harden first because I want to touch on Embiid and Doc Rivers last. But let's get to Harden first. So we have James Harden, who throughout his career has had very, very notable ups and downs in the playoffs, right? I think about 2015 where he had to be sat on the... Well, first off, I think about 2014 where he lost to Damian Lillard, who was in his second year in the NBA. Really shouldn't have allowed that to happen. But, hey, that's what's going on. I don't count 2013 because he lost to the Thunder, and that was before Dwight Howard got there. So he was still relatively young, so I don't really count that. But 2014, he probably shouldn't be losing to Portland. Then we get to 2015. We get to the Clippers series, obviously the infamous Clippers series where in Game 6, James Harden was benched because he was performing so badly. And then both Josh Smith and Corey Brewer led the way for the Rockets to win that game. And then James Harden really didn't play all that well in Game 7. However, the Rockets still were able to win that series. And then we go to the Warriors series where, granted, the Warriors were probably the better team. Not probably, they were the better team. But James Harden still didn't really perform that well. I remember vividly one game where James Harden turned the ball over at the end of the game. He had an opportunity, I think it was Game 1. He had an opportunity to win the game, and he turned the ball over. 2016, Rockets really weren't that good. Dwight Howard was hurt that year, so yeah, don't really count that. Then we get to 2017. Dwight Howard is no longer there. This is Harden in what I believe should have been his MVP year, but that's neither here nor there. But we have Harden in 2017 against the San Antonio Spurs, and Kawhi Leonard did not play the final 2 games of that series, and in both games, you have the infamous block from Manu Ginobili in Game 5 that set the Spurs up 3-2, and then in Game 6, Harden has an all-time stinker, goes 2 for 13 or 2 for 11, only 10 points in that game in the closeout game. But obviously Harden fans, people they were caping for him. He doesn't have enough help. In 2015, he lost to the Warriors. 2016, he lost to the Warriors. Then, obviously in the offseason, 2017 offseason, you go and get Chris Paul, right? Then you go and face the Warriors in 2018, right? Chris Paul gets hurt. Okay, cool. You still have an opportunity in Game 7 because you guys were up 3-2 in that series. You have an opportunity in Game 7 to close out the series. Cool. You guys go ahead and miss 27 threes in a row. That doesn't get done that year. Okay, cool. We move on to 2019. Kevin Durant gets hurt. He only played in I know he didn't play within the last 2 to 3 games of that series. I forget specifically when he got hurt. I believe it was Game 4. But you guys, end up, just having the core, just Draymond, Curry, and Clay. And that's a very beatable team. I would say so. I think that's a very beatable team. However, you still end up losing to the Warriors, even without Kevin Durant. So at that point they were a very top heavy team. So all that depth that they had in 2016, 2015 was no longer there. So you still end up losing to the Warriors. Okay, cool. We get into 2020. Harden actually played pretty well in 2020. I don't really put that on him. Then we get into 2021. You get hurt. Okay, cool. Fine. We get into last year. You weren't really the healthiest. People were saying you were still coming back from your hamstring injury. Okay, cool. Right? We get to this year, right? You're healthy. You're no longer the number one option on the team. You weren't in Brooklyn, but you obviously right now you're healthy and you're the clear number two option on the team. Where in Brooklyn, maybe it was a bit of a toss up between you and Kyrie, who was the number two, who was the number three. But regardless, you are the clear number two on this team. You and Embiid, both complement each other perfectly in terms of play style. You have a coach in Doc Rivers who is experienced and someone should be able to put you in position to just be you. You know what I'm saying? And do your thing. We get into this playoff series. And granted, two amazing games from James Harden. Game 1 and Game 4, Harden was amazing. Just doing his thing. I give Harden all the credit in the world. But Game 2, Game 3, Game 5, Game 6, and Game 7, what are we getting? What are we getting? Again, we have another instance, and this is why I said I didn't trust this team. I didn't trust this team. The main reason why I didn't have them winning this series because I didn't trust this team. I simply did it. I'm sorry to whoever really thought that this team was gonna make it out the second round, but no, I did not trust this team at all. I didn't, and now James Harden is once again unable to get back to the finals since 2012. Hey, man, I don't really know what else is left for you, dog. I really don't. I really don't, man. It's just tough scene. Tough scene. Now we get to let's do Doc Rivers next because I want to save Embiid for last. Doc Rivers, man. Doc Rivers, man. You have been handed opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I vividly remember in the 2020 offseason, after you just blew a 3-1 lead, and then got this coaching job with the 76ers. I vividly remember Sixers fans telling me, "Oh, Doc Rivers, man, that's a great coach. Now we got rid of Brett Brown. Now we have Doc Rivers. We're gonna be amazing." That's what people were telling me. That's what people were telling me in 2020. Oh yeah, Doc Rivers, man, this guy's great. He's gonna lead us to the promised land. Okay. So I went along with it. I patiently waited because I knew Doc Rivers was not that cool. I knew he wasn't him. If you want to know why, look at the previous almost 2 decades prior to him getting to the 76ers. Look at his resume. In Orlando, Doc Rivers blew a 3-1 lead. In Boston, had that lucky championship. Yes, lucky championship in 2008. Then in 2010, got back to the finals. Okay, cool, you lost. After that, what has Doc Rivers done? What has he done? I fail to see what Doc Rivers has done. Then you move to the Clippers. You don't make it out the second round, even though you have some of the most talented teams in the NBA. You fail to make it out the second round. Yes, some of that was due to injury. I get that. But there were some moments where, you know what, Doc Rivers, you probably shouldn't have lost to that team. Obviously, I just noted in 2015 against the Rockets, probably shouldn't have lost to that team. 2020 to the Nuggets, probably shouldn't have lost to that team. I don't really know what else to say. Then we get to the 76ers, right? And it's like clockwork. It's like clockwork. I told people, yo, Doc Rivers is not that guy. So, okay, all right, fine. Like I said, I'm going to be patient. So 76ers, they rolling, they getting, they doing their thing. Best record in the NBA, Embiid. Everybody was going crazy, right? Giving Doc Rivers all the credit, right? And even I gotta admit, I was okay. Maybe the Sixers. It was just Brett Brown, right? And they needed to just get a revamping because I even said that Brett Brown probably needed to go just so they could reach their full potential. I didn't think they could reach their full potential under Brett Brown, but I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe Doc Rivers is the coach that they need. Maybe that's what they need, right? And then we get to the playoffs in 2021, and they face the Atlanta Hawks, and I mean, I don't think I have to tell y'all that Trae Young, John Collins, and Clint Capella, I shouldn't have to explain to y'all how that's a beatable team. I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't have to do that. However, you somehow go to 7 games with this team after having, I believe you had a 3-2 lead in that series as well. You go 7 games with this team, and in game 7, you end up losing to the Atlanta Hawks. Again, I don't know what to tell you. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. Right? We get to last year. Okay, maybe Miami was just a better team than them last year. Honestly, I still feel like it was very even. But you know what? Harden maybe wasn't 100%. Okay, cool. We get to this year, right? And everybody and their grandmother knows. Yo, Doc Rivers, if you don't get it done this year, you're done, son. It's over. Pack him up. It's wraps. Get him out of here. So we would expect that, you know what? Maybe it's time to make some adjustments. Maybe it's time to run some different sets. Maybe it's time to switch up things so that you could give yourself a better position. You could put yourself in a better position to win. Right? Because you had an opportunity to do it game 6. You didn't get it done. Okay, cool. We get to today, game 7. And what do? You continue to not make a jump. Bro, I'm on the TV watching this man, Jason Tatum, cook Joel Embiid. I'm watching him fry this man. And Doc Rivers is allowing him to go one-on-one. I'm watching him shoot pull-up 3 after pull-up 3, in and out, hezzy tween, behind the back, step back, splash on all of your men. All of them. And you're not sending a double. You're not doing a boxing one. You're not trying to get the ball out of Tatum's hands. You allow this man to give you 51 points. 51 points. No adjustment from Doc Rivers. Hey, man, whole time I was sitting there just counting down the minutes, man. I was just like, yo, what? Doc Rivers, you got 5 more minutes left of your coaching career, man. There was one play Doc Rivers was bending down on the sideline. I was like, yeah, this man know his career's over, bro. He know it's done. He know his raps. So I personally, I don't even want to hear about a team giving Doc Rivers another interview. I don't even want to hear about him giving them an interview. I don't want to hear it. Doc Rivers, you're done. It's over with. Thank you for your one lucky championship that you got. It's done. It's wraps. It's over with. Now we get to Joel Embiid. All right. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. This pains me because I'm gonna keep it a stack. Joel Embiid was actually one of my favorite players. In 2017 to 2019, Joel Embiid was one of my favorite players. I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all. I loved Embiid. I loved him. I truly did. However, once we started getting into the playoffs, and I started seeing who Embiid was when we got to these moments, right? When we got to the latter parts of the series, right? Where, okay, we got to start piecing together a championship run. I started to see who Embiid was, and I wasn't impressed. 2018 against the Celtics, at that point in time, the Celtics was still a very young team. No Kyrie, no Gordon Hayward. It was a young Jason Tatum, a young Jaylen Brown. Same core, Al Horford, Marcus Smart. The gang was all there. And I heard, and I played it for y'all in the Sixers video. All I was hearing, I heard from Stephen A. Smith, hey, Sixers going to make the finals this year. They're going to get it done this year. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens. Y'all get to the second round against the Celtics. Y'all don't get it done. Oh, it's just their first year. Okay, cool. Next year, y'all doing y'all thing. Y'all maybe not getting off to the best start, but then y'all go and y'all trade for Jimmy Butler. Okay, cool. I I think that was a good move. Y'all also get Tobias Harris. Okay, cool. Maybe a bit too much star power there, but you know what? Hey, you guys are making moves. You're trying to make stuff happen so that y'all can put yourself in the best position to win a championship. Okay, cool. Only real team that I see that's probably beating y'all in the East is Milwaukee. Everybody else though, fair game, fair game. And even Milwaukee, I still feel like it would have been a good series. Cool, cool. We get to the second round. You face off against the Toronto Raptors. Again, a very, very beatable team. Very beatable team. Really only had one superstar player in Kawhi Leonard. Like I said, very beatable team. Unable to get it done then. Oh. It was Jimmy Butler. It was Tobias Harris. Those two couldn't figure it out. Okay, cool. In the offseason, y'all allowed Jimmy Butler to walk. Y'all keep Tobias Harris. At that time, even I said that probably was the better decision, just because if you really want to build around Embiid, you should probably allow him to you should probably give him a co-star that will complement him more in terms of spacing the floor rather than Jimmy Butler, who although is a better playmaker than Tobias Harris, isn't really that great isn't really that great of a shooter. And again, if you're trying to build around Embiid, you would probably want to maximize the space that you have around him, especially when you have Ben Simmons on the same roster as him. Okay, cool. We get to 2020. I give you all a pass for 2020, obviously because of COVID, but also Ben Simmons got hurt and he wasn't able to play in the playoffs, and y'all got beat by the Celtics in the first round. Okay, cool. We get to 2021. New coach, new scene, new GM. All right, cool. Y'all have it going. And B's playing at an MVP level, upping his play again. Cool. I'm on board. Y'all get to the second round against the Atlanta Hawks. Embiid has a game. I believe it was game 5 or game 6. Whatever game was in Atlanta. Embiid goes scoreless in the second half. 0 for 12 in the second half. Then we get to game 7. Like I just stated. Y'all had it. Y'all were at home. Y'all had it going for y'all. Y'all allow the Hawks to come in and take game 7 and take the series and move on to the conference finals. Oh, but it was Ben Simmons. It was Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was the reason why we lost. Okay, cool. Ben Simmons goes on his whole tirade in the offseason. He does whatever he does. You know what I'm saying? He wants to get traded. He wants to leave. Cool. He's not playing. Embiid, really the only star on his team, the superstar on his team, still is able to carry the Sixers and play at an MVP caliber level. Then y'all able to trade Ben Simmons, because even I was surprised at this, because I thought that there was no way that because y'all could have traded for James Harden when James Harden wanted to leave Houston, and y'all could have traded Ben Simmons then, but y'all waited. Y'all was like, oh, no. We're going to keep Ben Simmons, and then we see the real value of Ben Simmons. And now, I was like, oh, no way you're going to get Harden. But somehow y'all get Harden. And like I just stated, Harden, perfect complementary piece for Joel Embiid. Not only is he the same level of playmaker, if not, probably, I would say he's better than Ben Simmons. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. But he's also a league's better scorer. I don't even think I need to explain that to y'all. League's better scorer. Obviously, you're probably giving up a lot of defense in terms of perimeter defense. However, that team really didn't need defense, right? The main problem that they had was their offense. Their offense was stagnant. There was no space. It was just crowded, and B was not able to operate in the way that he was able to operate. Right? So y'all go and get James Harden. Cool. We get to the playoffs. Y'all get to the Heat series. Right? Y'all end up losing that series, even though y'all definitely had opportunities to win and push it to a game 7 at home. Oh, but Harden, he wasn't 100%. Embiid, he got hurt as well. Cool. And even y'all were saying Embiid was hurt. He tore his meniscus in 2021. Cool. Even then, Joel Embiid shot 7 for 24 in that game in that game 6 against Miami. But cool. We get to this season, right? Like I just stated, you have a whole season of Embiid and Harden together. Harden is healthy. He's getting back into form. He knows his role. He's a complementary piece. He's playing well alongside Joel Embiid. Embiid is having a career season, having easily one of the best seasons from a center in the past 20 years since Shaquille O'Neal played. Ends up winning the MVP. And even in that, all I heard from people was, the reason why Jokic couldn't win MVP over Embiid was because of playoff success and because of defense. Those were the two reasons that I heard. People like Kendrick Perkins were losing their minds at the thought of Jokic winning a third MVP without making it to the finals. Even though, again, the MVP has absolutely nada to do with the playoffs. It's a regular season award. But you know what? Because y'all want to use the playoffs, I'm going to get nasty. I'm going to get nasty. I'm going to get nasty as well. So again, all I heard from people for why Embiid was the MVP and not Jokic was because of the playoff success and defense. Even though, like I just stated to all y'all, Joel Embiid has not been past the second round in his entire career. Jokic has, right? The defense, okay, I'll give you that. That's fine. And even I agree that if the Nuggets were to lose in the playoffs, it will be because of Jokic's defense. So I'm not fighting that. I'm not fighting that. However, we then get to this playoff run, right? Joel Embiid is healthy. Harden is healthy. Joel Embiid goes they sweep the Nets, like I said. Sweep the Nets, breeze through them, get to the Celtics series. No injuries, no sort of setbacks, no nothing. We're here. We doing our thing. Cool. Embiid wins the MVP. Cool. We get to game 6 in Philly, at home, up 3-2. Opportunity to close the series out. You don't get it done. Cool. You get to game 7. You have the opportunity to finally reach the conference finals. This is the best season in your career. You're playing with James Harden. You're playing with Doc Rivers, who people were saying was the coach that you needed in order to find some sort of success, finally get past the second round. And you proceed to go 5 for 18 from the field. In the second half of this game, I'm watching Embiid getting hunted by Jason Tatum. Hunted by Jason Tatum. He's looking for the switch. I'm watching Robert Williams set a screen on Jason Tatum's man and Embiid completely sagging off, looking lost on defense. Like he didn't know that he had to step up on the dude that had 40-something points at that point in the game. I'm watching Jason Tatum shoot step-back threes and cushing it in your face. I'm watching Embiid walk up the floor, walk back on defense. I'm watching Embiid look scared to shoot the ball over Al Horford. I'm watching Embiid turn the ball over, trying to play make, passing the ball to the wrong player, getting stripped on a shot attempt. Throwing the ball out of bounds. Not communicating with his team. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing. I'm watching Embiid getting blown out by a team, by a player who I thought the Sixers were supposed to be better than. Back in 2018, when these teams first faced off, and people were hyping up the Sixers and saying that Joel Embiid was doing this thing, and that the Sixers were going to make it to the finals, I genuinely thought that Embiid was finally going to come through on that. He finally was going to show why he was the MVP. He finally was going to prove to y'all that he was the player that y'all said he was. And you know what? I take that back. I didn't think that because like I said, I said that the Sixers were not going to win this series because I don't trust them. I just don't trust them. Maybe that's what y'all thought. That's what y'all thought. Let me correct myself. That's what y'all thought. But I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. And once again, Joel Embiid falls short, has an abysmal performance in Game 7, and is once again sent home in the second round. And my question to you all now is, what's the excuse? What's the excuse this time? If you were paying attention, you would notice that as I listed off each of those playoff failures, every time there was an excuse. In 2018, they were too young. In 2019, it was too many people that needed the ball. It was Jimmy, Tobias, him, and Ben Simmons. Too many people needed the ball. In 2020, Ben Simmons was hurt. I give y'all that. In 2021, Ben Simmons was trash. In 2022, Harden wasn't healthy. So what's the excuse now? Also, in 2021 and 2022, Embiid wasn't healthy. He was hurt. He was playing hurt. This year, he was healthy. No injury that we know of. No injuries. Harden, healthy. So everybody was there. Everybody was there. Maxey was doing his thing. Everybody was there. What's the excuse now? What's the excuse now? Anywho, man, that's gonna be it for the video today. I know it's kind of all over the place, but I just definitely wanted to share my thoughts with y'all, man. Cause oh man, that was tough to watch. That was tough to watch. Cause again, like I said, man, I used to love Joel Embiid, man. He used to be one of my favorite players, man. I thoroughly enjoyed watching him. But it's the playoff performances, I can't with him. I just can't. So, to Daryl Morey, everybody in the Sixers front office, it's time, man. It's time. This marks the 10-year anniversary of the hiring of Sam Hinkie, the beginning of this process. You gone 10 years, no conference finals appearance. Not a finals appearance, not a conference finals appearance. Not even a finals appearance, not a conference finals appearance. Not a championship, not a finals appearance, but a conference finals appearance. No conference finals appearance. I really don't know what more evidence you need. I really don't know. And then to top it all off, Jokic is playing out of his mind right now and leading his team to the conference finals. Even though he's not the best defender in the world, and apparently he didn't have the playoff success to prove that he should be winning his third MVP. But he's still in the playoffs and not Embiid. I don't know, man. Y'all make it make sense. But anywho, I know this video is already pretty long, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank y'all for joining me, man. Definitely, like I said, I'm going to make sure I'm going to try to get more videos. I already got ideas in my head. Obviously, going to be trying to react to some playoff stuff. Let me know if y'all like this type of video where I'm just kind of rambling and stuff and just kind of going off. Kind of like a little Twitch stream, if you will. Kind of pseudo Twitch stream. Let me know if y'all like these. I could definitely do more of these and just, get them out to y'all. But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. And until next time, y'all take care, man. Peace.